Hello, hello, hello. If I'm live, please let me know. It's telling me on the app that I'm live, which is great news. If you're here, if you can just drop something in the comments, let me know if the visuals and the sound is good. That would be really, really useful. And thanks for showing up. I really appreciate that on a Friday. If you're here, do just let me know. Introduce yourself. Yes, I am alive. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Sunil, welcome. Martin, welcome. I was hoping you'd show up. I saw you were registered, but you know it's like sometimes you get busy with work and you miss these lives. But yeah, being the guy I look to for recruitment bots. In this example, we are using a recruitment bot template. So I'd be interested to get your feedback on what I'm about to do. Please don't look at the conversational design because it's not great. But it's just the way it works and the practicalities of it, and how that might be used in some environments. I do feel that recruitment's not the only place this could be used. Could definitely be used in other settings. And after I've shown you this, if you stick through the video, I'll be interested to get your thoughts, any of your thoughts on how you could perceive this being useful, this feature. Yes, I knew you wouldn't miss it. Roland, welcome. Jennifer, welcome. Oh, everybody's dropping in. Lovely. I really appreciate that. So in this live, which I've scheduled 20 minutes for it, and then some time at the end for questions. But anytime you have a question, just ask it on the right. For those that haven't been in my lives before, the focus on these is really around no code and what's possible now with no code conversational AI. I remember when I first started in this world, no code was really weak. And it made it really difficult for businesses to technically resource, for certain businesses to technically resource their chatbots because they needed someone with coding capability or they needed to hire that in. No code has really come on. And personally, I came across Juji by chance. I know hundreds of platforms. I'm sure many of you do. And I tested it on a website, loved it. Loved many elements of it, but was interested to learn a bit more about the product. Reached out to the team at Juji, and I've been deep diving into this product ever since, and I'll be deep diving for the rest of this year. Hi, Rupesh. Thanks for dropping in, mate. Really appreciate it. So I'm going to be deep diving into this product and the world of no code conversational AI a lot between now and the end of the year. Don't expect to live on Christmas Day because it isn't happening. So yeah, let's dive in, shall we? So I'm going to share my screen. If you have any problem seeing it, just let me know in the comments. I'll zoom in occasionally where I can, where I think there's something important. I'm going to demo using this recruitment, and I'm going to show you the data that's available after actually quite a short conversation. Lovely watching everybody join in. So let's do it. So for those of you that haven't seen Juji before, this is what it looks like. It's, I hope you're still seeing that. Yes, you are. Good. This is kind of the first interface you get to, and all of your different AI helpers, your conversational AI chatbots that you've built and tested will all be listed here. Yeah, I know it says AI helper and a number, AI helper and a number. You can rename them in the settings. It's just where I've been testing things, trying to learn the product more and get a better feel for it. If you wanted to, you could import a chatbot, and I've done that actually. It's really, really easy to do. Whether you wanted to import it because it's been built by someone else and then you're importing it in, or you're taking what they've built because you like the look of that and you perhaps want to use that as a basis for your build, really useful. Or you can just create a new one, and that's what we're going to do today. So click on create a new chatbot. And you've got two options at the moment. There has been talk about demand growing for WhatsApp, and that could also be another channel that's added later. But websites seems to be big at the moment, which rightly so, it makes total sense. And then you get two options. You can use a blank template, or you can have a look through quite a substantial series of templates. We're going to just take one for the ease today. I have been starting to build some test bots myself from fresh, which is, it's a great way to learn. I think going into the templates first and looking how they're built and how they're put together and configured is a much quicker way of learning a product. So I've actually done it where I've had the template on one side of my screen and then I've had a fresh one on, and then I'm trying to replicate it so I can get a real good feel for the product. What we're going to do is we're going to pick this one here, which is Job Interview Basic. Use this template to create an AI assistant chatbot to gather basic information from job candidates. You can click and see the example, or you can just create. So we're just going to hit the create button. I do love the speed of Juji; it's really quick. You get two options whenever you launch your template. You can preview it or customize it. We're going to go into customize because I want to show you kind of behind the scenes and how this template is built. So if you've not seen the Juji platform before, really easy. If I want to go back to all of my chatbots, I would go here in the top left-hand corner. Across the top, I've got the main chat flow, like any flow builder. Many of them the same, and actually Juji's slightly different. Is in that you have this section here with your cards, your elements, your topics, whatever you want to refer to them as. I like cards. So you have all your cards going down here, and I'm sure many of you have used other products where you kind of drag and drop them around and link them together and stuff. I know I've used platforms like that, but actually this seemed a little bit alien at first, but now I really love it. In the middle is the Q&A board. This is where you build your frequently asked questions. So add customer questions in and build the dialogue to answer those questions. What I really like about Juji is it does that on the fly. So for instance, if somebody was already in the chatbot and I saw the question and built an answer for it and made it go live, it would be actually live within the chatbot there and then within seconds. So if they ask that question, they'll get the answer straight away. Hasn't got to be re-upload. That conversation's not got to be ended and a new conversation start. Really like that, especially in a fast-moving environment. On the right here, you have chatbot settings. So, really simple interface. It threw me a bit the first time I used it, but once you've gone over it, it's actually quite nice. So click on this first card. You can see it's named welcome. You can go into any of the cards and rename them. It's not an issue. But we've got the welcome message. You can see there's a string in there to bring in the user's first name. So we know it's going to pull the name from somewhere. And having used this template, first thing it does is ask the name. So then it will use that name throughout. Then it's going to be waiting for like the starting signal, the go signal in the next card. So it's going to ask the question, are you ready to get started? And you can put, yeah, ready, start. Yeah, let's do it, whatever. It's quite intuitive. And then it's going to come up with, sorry, I added something and I shouldn't have done, but I can show you. I can delete them now. So you can see this one I've just added in. It's not a new topic, not been defined. I'm just going to delete that. There you go. It's gone. So we'll go into this one. Introduce yourself. And it comes up and basically she's going to ask, I'd like to get to know you a bit. Could you introduce yourself in two to three sentences? So it does need a bit of information for this. What you like and what your hobbies is the examples. And then it's going to deep dive more into the hobbies. And then it's going to kind of build up a little bit of rapport. And I'll show you how this works. So depending on what you've put in those earlier introduction and hobbies, from that it's going to then personalize a message to build a rapport, which is the whole thing around personalization, making a chatbot, a conversational AI, an AI helper more personable, more humanizing. I know a lot of us were having a long conversation in Botrepreneurs networking in the conversational design room earlier this week, and we were talking about elements that humanize a conversation, and this is one of those. And then it's going to, after building rapport, it's going to start asking some questions about employment. So we are in that recruitment mode. We could be looking, this could be in any setting, but I like the idea of the recruitment stuff because it gets to know the person a little bit, uses what it's been told to build the rapport, and then goes into asking about, as it does here, a bit about employment history. Are you currently employed, and lots of other questions. Obviously, you can build that out according to whatever your client's needs or your needs are. Martin, I hope he can put some stuff in the comments about recruitment bots and the challenges and stuff, which would be really important. So what we're going to do is I'm going to deploy this now, and then we're going to put some data into it, have some conversations, and then we're going to have a look at the data that we get out. So you can see the deploy button on the left is not active. That's because we just need to deploy it. Sorry, preview it. We don't need to do anything in here. We're just making sure that it does fire up. And there she is, ready to go. And then we're going to hit the deploy button. I absolutely love how simple it is to deploy and test your chatbot with Juji. I've used, I don't know, 30, 40 different platforms now. And this, for me, this element brings me joy. So if I come down, hit this big button here, generate URL. There's lots of information there, but if you want to get an account for Juji and test it, just reach out to them and you can test that stuff yourself. Hit generate URL. You can see it's worked. And then I've got a test link here and I've got a web link. What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the web link like so. And I'm going to fire one up. And this is me starting the conversation as a candidate. So this is going to be Mary. So Mary is starting the conversation. There she is. And I'm also going to start up a second conversation. And this one's going to be Jim. A little bit narcissistic, I know, but it's Jim. Jim and Mary. Okay, so 2 potential candidates have dropped in. Got the same welcome message, which has been personalized with their name. And first question, which is like the trigger question, are you ready? Are you ready to get started? We're going to say, yes, ready. So this is Mary now. So I am talking as Mary. And Ava's going to ask, since we just met, I'd love to get to know you a bit. Could you introduce yourself in 2 to 3 sentences? For example, what you are like and what are your hobbies? Now, this is one really for the conversational designers. You can, obviously, that's just short and sweet. I'd spend a lot of time as a conversational designer on building that little element and making it more welcoming, perhaps, and more likely to drive the next part of the conversation. If I then go into, what I've done is I've got the data here. You don't want to listen to me typing all this data out. So here's Mary, and Mary's going to say, I'm a high school graduate and currently working at a garden nursery. I love plants and flowers because they are living things and always remind me, oh, thanks, Ava, and always remind me of miracles of lives. The flowers and plants can talk, She's put some nice, fluffy information in there. And that's really what you want, because there's some important personalized information within there. And then what happened is Ava's come back and said, noted, life is not just about work. What do I enjoy doing in your spare time? So looking to get some more information. Again, I'm not going to type it all up. I've got it here. Back to Mary's conversation, paste it in. Whenever I have time, I love to write and paint. I write funny short stories and share my stories with my friends to make them laugh. I also paint flowers and beautiful scenarios and make them alive on paper. I also send my paintings to friends and family members as gifts. Now, this is the bit that I really love about this. So this is that building rapport part. So Ava comes back with, I can sense that intellectual activities make you happy. Just keep doing what you enjoy. Just from our quick chat so far, it seems you are creative and spontaneous. The world would appreciate many of your creations. Again, that dialogue there can be worked on by the conversational designer and made. I would definitely be working on the Ava persona to make that sound like Ava is talking. And then the rapport's been built, and then Ava goes in asking about employment history and are you currently employed? I'm just going to hit yes. So far, so good. So we've gone through that process for Mary. How would that look for somebody who's a totally different person, totally different personality? Well, we're going to find out. So, are you ready to get started? Yes. And again, Ava's asking if I'll do an introduction to myself in 2 to 3 sentences. So let's take some text that's been pre-written. So this is Jim. I'm a quiet and calm person. I live by myself. I have a high school diploma and I work in the shipping department of a big retailer. The work is demanding, but if you know how to optimize it, in my mind, by calculating how to manage different items, it's much easier to handle. I'm getting a college degree so I can start a new profession with better pay. So, us as individual, as people could pull that apart and kind of make some judgments about who Jim is. And I suppose kind of that's what Ava's doing, but with software. So Ava comes back with a slightly different response this time to Mary's received. Thank you very much for sharing. Life is not just about work. What do you enjoy doing in your spare time? Now, that was a different word into the other one. Again, slightly different conversation, same lines, different dialogue. So let's get some text for what Jim likes to do in his spare time, which is actually quite close to me. So let's paste that in. I love to play video games on my computer. Mostly I play online chess games. It's really fun and makes me excited as I have to think hard how to beat others. Besides chess, I love to play strategy games so I can plan out what to do and how to grow my kingdom and beat other players. So Ava comes back. Seems that you're interested in intellectual activities. Always enjoying learning new things, just like me. Just from our quick conversation so far, you seem inquisitive and thoughtful. Our world definitely needs more thinkers like you, building that rapport. How did Ava know to say those things? Hopefully, we'll dive into that in a second. You'll see. And then comes straight into, so the rapport's been built and then goes into asking about employment history. There we go. So we've seen 2 users go through. This could be, in a big business, it could be, 500 applications across 25 roles or whatever in a week. A lot of data, a lot of information coming in. So if we go back to Juji now, we have this brilliant section. And those of you that know me, is I have massive frustrations around chatbot metrics and reporting. A lot of it is useless fluff. But actually, Juji has approached it from a very different point of view. And I really like the way they do it. So if I come in here straight away to the chat stats, I can see total chats. I can see average engagement. I can see locations by date. Just the normal kind of high level dashboards type stuff you would expect. But the real power with this Juji no-code platform is under the audience tab. Those that have joined me before have seen this data, but what you wouldn't have seen, you would have seen kind of user response analytics. We did that in a few videos past, but you wouldn't have seen the personality insight stuff, which I think is where the real power is. So within Juji, you've got this big 5. Any of you that have kind of studied personality will know what those big 5 are: openness, conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism. And you might have even took some tests and know where you are on those. But it's also got something called the Holland codes, which are used to categorize careers and vocational preferences along these 6 dimensions. And I'll go through each of these in turn. Let me zoom in so you can see. So you've got 2 axes. So you've got things, people, and then you've got data, ideas. And then as you go around that axis, you've got makers, thinkers, creators, helpers, entrepreneurs, and organizers. There's lots of different kind of personality stuff out there. I know I've done, when I used to be working corporate world, like Myers-Briggs and stuff like that. But within Juji, we've got those two. So we've got the big five and we've got the Holland codes. So what's fascinating about this is if we go into this first one, knowing that Mary and Jim went through that first part of the conversation, we can actually hover and see them. So Jim scored 100% as a maker and Mary scored 95. If we come down to thinkers, neither. Oh, no, I can't see it very well because they're yellow and white. Jim scored 78 and Mary scored 36. Very different people. If we go to creators, then Mary's right up there and Jim, not really, right down there. And I love this. Creators who have type B personality, just like Lady Gaga, living for the fun of life and relying on feelings, ideas, and imagination. So, yeah, I'm down there at 1%. Helpers. Helpers are the humanists like Mother Teresa, striving to help others and improve society. And you can see Mary scored really high there, and Jim scored very low again. Again, we purposely picked those very different people to show this. Entrepreneurs, they both scored 100%. And on organizers, Mary scored higher and Jim scored lower. But depending on the role, Jim might be better suited because he scored higher on thinker, depending on the type of role. In terms of the Holland codes, that might be the person that they're looking for. And the same, Jim is very much a thinker maker type person. So in this top right-hand quadrant here, that might be who they're hiring for. Alternatively, they may be hiring someone more over here, and neither Mary or Jim fit the criteria according to their Holland codes. So that's Holland codes. I think it's fantastic. It's really nice data. What I'd like to do is actually put like 100 people through this and see much more data and get a much better feel for it. What I'll do is I'll see if we can get some screenshots of this data and I'll share it in the comments with a lot more information in it. That'd be useful, I think. And if we go to the big five, which you more likely have heard of, I definitely heard of the big five. And we can come down, and I really like this. So if we look at openness, for instance, openness measures how much a person is inclined to new experience or views from six facets. So we can see here, Mary is much more open than Jim. And what we can do, and I really like this over here, so openness is made up of imagination, artistic interest, feelings, adventurousness, intellectual curiosity, and liberalism. And if I click all facets, I can see it underneath. So imagination, Mary's scoring higher. Artistic interest, Mary's definitely scoring higher. Feelings, Mary's up there. So she was going kind of in customer service or maybe HR might be better. Around adventurousness, both very similar. Intellectual curiosity, Jim just pips it. And then liberalism, it seems that Jim is slightly more liberal than Mary, but I don't think it's going to make much difference. And then I can hide that data away. And you can do that for anything. So if we look at agreeableness, uses 6 aspects to measure a person's behavioral characteristics when dealing with others. That could be really important in the role that you're hiring for. So the 6 facets for agreeableness are trust, straightforwardness, altruism, cooperation, modesty, and sympathy. And if I want to, I can dive deeper into those and we can view each in turn. So if we look at trust, Mary is value her belief that she places on others is high in trust. Straightforwardness, Mary again. Altruism, Mary is a lot more altruistic. Cooperation, Mary again. And modesty, Jim just tips the scales there. Sympathy, Mary, a lot higher. So just from the short number of questions and the conversation that Mary had with Ava, we've been able to really see that in terms of sympathy, modesty, cooperation, if you're looking for someone that's very people focused, Mary seems to stand out. So that's a little bit of a dive into that, from what was two very short conversations, the information that was gained about the person that Ava was talking to. So let's flick back and see if we can got any questions. Bear with me. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to pop into LinkedIn. I'm going to see if anybody's got any questions. So somebody said the personality insight is really cool. Is it available for free? I'm afraid it's not available for free. Do reach out to me though, because if you would like to see a deeper dive into that and perhaps have some access for a while to try it yourself, I might be able to arrange that. Rupesh, thank you. Roland reported the video and audio stopped. That's been kind of a pattern with this streaming platform, and I think it's perhaps a StreamYard or a LinkedIn thing, but refreshing seems to fix it. Martin asked me to remove my camera. Sorry, buddy, I didn't see it. Amanda asked about the AI engine. Yeah, it's proprietary, but it's something they've built, and I think you understand why now you've seen this. Rupesh has said you could replace a Google form with this. Of course you could, yeah. Any other questions, please ask away. For me, this is very unique. I've not seen it in another platform. I'd like to see it in another platform, so I have something to compare it to. David asks, is small team collaboration supported permitted in the free test process? Can a test URL be shared with several people? Yes, it can. Yeah, once you've generated that test URL, you can share it with as many people as you like. You've just got to keep it there and open. So that's the way I would do it, is I would bang it out to a group of people and ask them to put the data. Michelle's come in. Yep. So yeah, exactly that. Share that URL. You could get 20 people just to go through your bot, ask the questions, and you could ask them to ask it honestly. So then you could look at the Holland codes, and you could look at the big five in the personality, and have some real data for testing before it goes out into the real world and goes live. If you've got any other questions, please do ask. Otherwise, we're going to end this one. If you've not, if Juji intrigues you, you can pop over and search them on Google. There are 3 or 4 other lives that I've done that are available on my profile. You can also go to the Juji YouTube page, and they're available there, so you can see me doing other things with Juji's and really trying to thrash it. Oh, that's interesting. I could share my deployed link to others here. I'm going to do that right now. So bear with me. See if I go to deploy. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to put it in the comments of LinkedIn. Bear with me. Oh, sorry, in here. There you go. So I've thrown the link in there. So if you want to actually go through, use your name. I won't reveal any of the personality data for you individually, but yeah, you'll get a feel for how it does. Martin says there are a few recruitment-only chatbots that do this as well, so it is focused. So this was the other question that I had is, I can see this very useful in the kind of recruitment niche, but actually what other niches could this be deployed in? Therapy might be one. That's one that came to mind straight away. Student applications, maybe. So students applying to do certain courses, they can go through. They could go through the conversation, and then their application would be supported by their kind of personality traits. If you're doing a particular degree or MBA or whatever, you might need to be a specific person. You might need to be excessively academic, or you might need to be really creative. And armed with the application and that personality data could be really useful. If you've got any ideas after you've watched this video, let me know other use cases. I'd like to perhaps try it in some other niches, reach out to people within those niches and get them to try it. Sunil says they're using it for benefits enrollment and PTO requests. Do let me know what PTO abbreviation is. I only know it as please turn over from a long, long time ago. But yeah, we're at our half-hour point, so I'm going to end the broadcast here. It's Friday. End your week on a high. I know I've ended mine on a high by doing this, and look forward to the next live, which will be next Friday. I haven't got a theme yet, but I'll probably decide it very, very shortly. Thanks everybody for showing up. If you've got any further questions, or would you like if you want a deeper dive into that element? Somebody's come up, PTO, personal time off, or paid time off. Paid time off probably makes a bit more sense. Yeah, Martin said paid time off as well. Thank you. Yeah, if you want to do a deeper dive into that element, give me a shout. I'm happy to do a one-to-one. If you want to deep dive into my other videos, they're not hard to find. Erdem, thank you. Morris, thanks for turning up. Really appreciate it. Doran, thank you. Always thank you. You seem to show up for everything. I really appreciate it. Take care. You know where I am if you need me. No code chatbots. Is it the future? I think it could well be. Bye now.